Howdy survivors, welcome back to ARK Survival Ascended. Today I'm doing a build tutorial for my western starter house that I built on Scorched Earth using the Frontier pack. So it will look the best if you use that as well, but maybe if you haven't gotten it yet or you don't want to get it, you can probably also build this house using other materials. Wood might look the best, but even adobe should look pretty decent. So you can use just the building itself, so just the main house, but I'll also show you how to build the little stable to the side to park some of your smaller tames. Now, if you enjoyed this build tutorial today, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future builds, and feel free to leave any suggestion for builds down in the comments below. And if you want to support me even more, you can always consider becoming a member. With that all out of the way, let's get building and let's make ourselves a nice western starter house. Okay, so we get started, of course, by placing down the foundations. We need a 3x5 shape, so we'll get started 3 like this and then 5 like so. So pretty easy shape, not too big but also not too small, so you can start in this house but also actually do the first couple of things you will need. So this is the basic shape we'll have. Then we'll dedicate some doors. So this will be the front of the house. We'll have the door right in the middle. And at the back we'll have another door right at the corner over there. And then we'll grab some windows. We'll have windows there and there. And also next to the door on the front. And for the rest of it, we just want to use normal walls. So we'll finish the shape of the house. We can just have normal walls here. We can make them too high as well. And slowly fill it all in on every side. So you have a decently shaped first layer of your build. So what we want to do is extend the front with a little porch with some ceilings like so. And also do the same at the back. So that we have both a front porch and a back porch. And then I use the scaffolding underneath to make it look a little bit more supported. And it's a really nice texture. Of course, if you don't have the Frontier pack, you can't do this. You can just use maybe pillars on the corner or something like that. You can see if we can actually add them here. Seems like it will allow me. That might be due to the settings. Again, it depends on your landscape. You don't really need it here on the front, of course, because you don't really see that much. But yeah, again, decide for yourself whenever you have your location picked out. Now, what I like to do before we start detailing too much, I like to start changing the texture of all the adobe structures we've used into the Frontier pack. Again, if you don't have it and you're using different materials, you can ignore this step. But for now, let's just change everything that we've placed into the Frontier style. If there's one thing that I can recommend is doing this whenever you're building on something, change them to the style you want to use during the building, because it's much easier to see if you actually like the build with this texture. Then actually we're going to bring out the glass texture here on the sides to bring in a little bit of those big windows so we have some nice light inside of our build, and just to change up the look. And we're also going to grab some pillars and we're going to reinforce the end of the house with some nice pillars going like so on all the corners. There we go. And if you want to add even more detail, you can also have a beam going across the bottom. I would also recommend doing it here, except for where the doors are, just to add in that little extra bit of detail along your build. And again, change them all to the right skin. Okay, then it's actually time to add in some thin pillars next to where the door is going to be and on the corner of your front porch as well. And we'll do the same here on the back porch. So on the corners, and we'll add two in the middle as well as extra support beams. I really love the fact that they've added in these new thin beams and pillars as more options to build with. And of course, we want to change the look of them again to the Frontier pack if you have that. And then we'll add in some railings along the porch as well to finish the look. And we'll change the skin. So that's a pretty good start to our starter house. Now we're gonna finish off the porches before moving on to the rest of the main building. First off, we want to add in some stairs in the front porch so that you can easily access it. And then we want to change to ramps, so we can add ramps as a little overhang on top of your porch, like so. And we'll do the same thing on the other side as well. And then once you've placed them all, if you have the frontier pack, again, change all the skins. Okay, so it's starting to come together. Now what we need to do, of course, is do a little bit of the interior structure and then finish off the build with a nice roof. Okay, then we want to start our ceiling. Start by placing them in like so. Leave one open at this side. That's where we're going to have our staircase going up and down. So what we want is we want to connect it to this and then have the staircase going down like so. So you can easily get in and out. And then, of course, change the skins. And now that we have access to the top floor, let's add in the roof. We're going to start out with adding a layer of quarter ceilings along the edge of the building on the long sides, not on the other sides. And we do the same on this side as well. And then quickly update the skin. So you should have something like this, and this is where we can start building the roof. We'll flip through the snap points until we get the right one, like so. Then we can have 2 windows here on the end, and again some sloped walls on top of that, so we have the roof shape going on like that. And then we'll do the exact same, of course, on the other side, making the roof shape the same. We have the windows again, want to bring in some light, of course. Do the rest of the shape, and you should end up with something like this. So then it's time to get started on the roof, and it's actually fairly simple, and I think you should just be able to do the exact same on official as well. So we start out by placing down some roofs on the quarter ceiling so they stick out on the outside, and of course we'll connect them all the way up. Then we'll actually bring out our corner roof pieces to make a little corner like so. And we'll bring it in again, and we'll have this kind of shape to add some more interest to our roof. Then we'll quickly connect the top layer so that we have it going on like so. So this is the back side of your building. And then we want to change the scaffolding to look like this. And you want to get it in the inner layer, so not on the outside, but a little bit deeper, so that you can you still have the little detail, the little depth of your building. So you want to have it like this, and then of course update the skins for the roof. Although I must say the new Adobe roof textures actually look really good as well, so I can't wait to do some builds with those. On the other side, we're going to do something slightly different. The start is going to be the same, but we're going to place 2 ceilings. But make sure, again, to have the overlap on the outside. And then we can already connect this top layer. And then here in the middle, we'll do a little roof like this again. So the corners again. And we'll do the same trick with the scaffolding to add a little bit of details. And then we'll update all the skins. That's pretty much the entire design of the house itself. Of course, don't forget to add the window hatches and the doors everywhere. And that will be it for the main house. But if you want to add in the stables like I did on my own build, the variation that I did is very dependent on the landscape. But I'll show you one that should always work as long as you can place 2 extra foundation lengths next to your building. Then what you want to do is we want to add in some fences on the side, some railings as a nice little divide. And depending on whether you want to have like 1 stable or maybe you want to divide them up a little bit more, you can add some extra ones as well. Then we want to add in some thin pillars here on the corners. We'll switch to the thick pillars underneath as a little bit of an extra support. Now you could add in some beams, but that hides the look of the railings a little bit. Of course you can add in thin beams as well, you don't really notice them. Let's update all the skins as well. For the floor, you actually have a choice. This might be just better suited as adobe because it looks a little bit more dirty. Might be more suited as a stable kind of look, at least for the floor here. Then what we want to do is we'll add in some double doors. This only works for like creatures that can actually fit in these. But I do this because the skins look really cool for this. So of course we want to update the skins of the door frames. And then the doors themselves will change into saloon doors. And you can even adjust your settings, how you open them, to only open outwards. Because that looks the best in my opinion. And they will always swing open. So they really look like stable doors. The thin pillar does lose a little bit of its detail, but it's fine. And then, of course, we want to add in a little roof underneath. So we'll add in some ramps, just like so, as a little overhang and a little bit of shelter for your tames. And we'll, of course, update these textures as well. So then we should have something like this, a little stables. Now, depending on your landscape, I won't include this in the material list, but you can, of course, add in some ramps so that you can actually reach your stables. But yeah, this really depends on where you've built it to make it look good and make it easy to get in and out of. But yeah, this is the whole starter house, including the stables. Okay, here we are at my own starter home. So this is the variation that I built in my survival playthrough. You can see the stables a little bit different. I didn't use the foundation here because the landscape is just going down. So we can just about fit some tames in. And you can see some of these smaller tames can easily go in and out of these doors. Add in a little feeding trough in the middle one. Just as some detail, you see that I did it a little bit differently here. Again, it's all because I didn't use the foundations. The thing that I showed in the tutorial is the variation that you can use in most, if not all, places. But yeah, it does add a little bit of nice detail to your build, having that to the side. And then you can see we've got a little front porch. We actually have the forge on there. Then we have a little bit of decoration already, but it's still early game, of course. Although we do have already cryopod storage, so we have a little bit of storage everywhere. The table for some crafting, and even a little piano down the side, and then on the back porch. It's mainly to enjoy the view in all case. Then over here we got, of course, the stairs going up. We're using this as a kind of bedroom, so we've got some beds here. But you can see quite some space still to do something with it. I haven't really decorated this fully, but I'm sure you'll be able to make it work as a lovely little starter base. You have quite some space to start and to grow a little bit before you need to start building extra things to house all your stuff, all your crafting tables, etc. And with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Ark Survival Ascended builds on Scorched Earth right now, but also on many other maps. I already have a bunch of tutorials up if you're looking for some cool builds. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support me even more, consider becoming a member. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.